Hey, I'm Menoe. This is my Hardcore Ironman. In this episode, I'm getting a max streak at the Arch-Glacor, or I'm losing my status. 32 kills remaining, all above 2000 in rage. I'm scared, but I'm not gonna stop here. Let's do it. Kills are not quick, but it's fine as long as I survive. Oh, there's another rare as well. I'm really curious how many I'm going to end up with at the end of the streak. There's another kill, 30 remaining. No back-to-back. Feel like it's time for some nihilists. Haven't had one yet. Alright, another book. Wow, 8 uniques. I think this is the first streak I've seen where I can fail and still get a triple broadcast. That's insane. Getting a lot of Sirenic scales. Too bad they're useless. I have a feeling I have enough burst nest for quite a while. This was a really slow kill, almost 8 minutes. Anything good? Nah. Made it out of kill 190. I don't know why it feels like a milestone, but I'm really happy. Lots of Reaper points as well. Look at the kill time. 9 minutes. Bad drop and a bad kill. It's meant to be. A nihilist proc would save me so much time. Think I would get full log with that, but I'll save it for another kill, I suppose. Here's a big milestone. The loot is not good, but the enrage is above the average of a 200 kill streak. Alright, I won't complain. Oh, there's a necromancy level. 117. I think I started the streak at 113 or maybe 114. Seems really good for XP. Alright, one more kill to go. The nerves are kicking in. The kill streak part of this doesn't track the first kill, so I just look at the chat box instead. See the 199? Here's a last look at the chest before I lose it. Let's end the streak with a final kill commentary. Start off by summoning everything. And I also always do Vengeance and Disruption Shield, but I already did it at the bank, so no need for it at the moment. Before the kill starts, I do Invoke Death, and then Skeleton Spec, then try to time my Wool and target cycle skulls as it spawns. I could also bring a wand for a lossless smoke cloud, but then I would need more space in my rune pouches, which would mean I need grasping rune pouches, and that means Croses. I don't like Croses, so I didn't do it. Having beams as my first mechanic is actually good for me, because that means I won't have it back to back as the 6th mechanic. So I'm guaranteed to have Cade for that one too. To be as safe as possible, I avoid doing any soul split flicking while the beams are active. Don't want to make a mistake. Here's focused attacks, which means I can go for Living Death. But first I want Bloat active, since it's a good debuff. During Flurry at these higher enrages, I like to start Living Death with either full HP or some sort of damage mitigation activated. So I'd like to prep my Living Death with either a Resonance, Debilitate or Reflect. That way I don't have to waste any adrenaline on surviving, then I can focus on doing most damage with the Triple Skulls rotation. For the cannon, gonna make sure I have adrenaline for Devotion and also Anticipate. Then build for the remaining adrenaline to do the last skulls before the Living Death ends. Now I'm rebuilding a bit of adrenaline, applying Vuln since it wasn't debuffed, and then summoning army. Play minions a bit more safe now, using a defensive to mitigate damage. Here I do Threads Volley, Sap Volley, in order to clear them a bit more consistently. Click the orbs for some extra damage, but I also like to get rid of them so I don't misclick on them if I want to move later. Arms are coming up, but I still do a 3-stack volley. The souls don't really matter for arms because they're so low HP. Split soul, bloat, build stacks. I do a double soul volley here because it's almost dead anyways. Life transfer since I don't take damage, and then upkeep the debuffs. Now I'm preparing for living death if I get a good mechanic, but I didn't. So I build souls for 3-stack, and then I do a defensive to be a bit more safe. Threads, volley, sap, and volley. Usually clears it if you do it in that order. If I get back-to-back minions at this enrage, then I use the scythe ability. What I do is the first scythe, and then invoke death, and then the rest of the scythes. Here I'm getting beams, so I dump my stacks with the 3-soul volley, try to resonance, but I dodge. And if that happens, then I always protect from whatever the style is afterwards, because otherwise I can sign to the auto attack. Go to the corner, prepare for a dive. Since I have barricade, I use that. Surge while moving. The beam is really close, but since I have Cade active, I don't have to worry about anything, can just remain calm. I still try to avoid the beams though, because I don't want to get bad habits and run into them when I'm not under Cade. Split soul, bloat, build the last stack, and then dump volley. Finish the arm with some basics to get adren as well. Here I have 100 adren and adren pot, but I still don't go for living death, since I have to apply all the debuffs, and I also want to use the remaining skull before I living death to reset the cooldown. Here I got flurry, so it's the best case scenario where I have bloat active and also vulnerability and all that stuff. So now I can go for a living death big rotation. As I mentioned earlier, I like to use some sort of defensive before living death, and this time I did reflect. I got a lucky relentless proc on my ultimate, and whenever that happens I try to skull as soon as possible and then use bloat to spend the extra adren. Should add a bit of extra damage, especially if you split soul as well, but I don't really do it at this enrage because, well, I'm scared. I'm playing it very safe. It's sometimes tricky to get the third skull in whenever you get a cannon mechanic, since you have to use adrenaline for the defensive abilities. But the extra adrenaline from my Relentless made it free. I also like to use Divert in those cases, but I don't have it on this account. Here I'm getting back to back, which means this is the 11th mechanic of getting another cannon, so I prepare my adren. And since I'm scared at this enrage, I use all the reflect, debilitate, I even vit-potted here. It's very overkill, but I'm not gonna take extra risks while on the last kill of the streak. Whenever I'm about to volley, I always double check the bloat and try to upkeep that before volleying. I'm getting minions again, and since I don't have enough stacks for a volley soul volley, then I just do the threads sap volley. With some lucky crit RNG, I don't even need to clean up the stragglers. My trusty biting 2 pair coming in clutch. Going for some skeleton spec, building souls, using up my necrosis stacks with a finger. Beams are coming up, so I spend my stacks and also take a look at my ability bar to see if my barricade is available, which it is. Since I had enough adren, I bloat and then rebuild for 100 adren. Go to the corner. I like to anticipate, but I don't know if it actually does anything. Barricade, move and surge. Trying to prioritize Touch of Death whenever it's available, otherwise using Necromancy basic attack. And if you're gonna make mistakes, this is the perfect time to do it, because it doesn't matter. Bloat, volley, and then clear the arm with the remaining basics, just to get stacks and also more adren. Resummon army, upkeep all the debuffs, Vuln, bloat, ghost. Spend the skulls instead of living death, since I'll get a skulls reset from the living death later. And now we're back to the focus attacks, which means I'm using vengeance again, trying to get that reflective damage. Other than that, I just build for 100 adren and go for the living death rotation. Here my living death is a bit delayed, so I'll probably get another immunity phase soon that blocks my triple skulls, but I'm still getting a lot of damage from just 2 of them. using disruption shield whenever I remember to mitigate some damage. But as you can tell by my inventory, my food usage isn't really that high, so the disruption shield isn't really needed. Another cannon coming up, making sure I have enough adrenaline for devotion. I anticipate devotion and use my finger stack since they're at 12, and also managed to get in the last skull before living death ended. Making sure I have bloat active while I'm doing my volley. Since I spent my souls, I can't do threads volley, so instead I go for threads sap volley, and I like to use bloat as the third threads ability. But to be honest, I'm not sure if it applies on the big immune Glacor. I just do it anyways because I think it does. I've panicked quite a few times from these Wenbook procs, always thinking it's a beam because my brain is zoned out. It's done. 200 streak. I did not think I'd get there. This kill was nerve-wracking. Look at that shot message. Maximum streak. 2,369% enrage. 200 kill streak. As far as I'm aware, that's a Hardcore Ironman world first. I'm not gonna lie, I thought I'd die at like 1,300. Let's do some quick chat as well. Confirm that it's actually hardcore. 0 lives used. Where's the hard? There it is, unlocked. I have 1 life. I should probably unlock more. But I don't need more. 200 streak in hard mode. That's beautiful. Have a look at this chest. Not only world first, but also probably the highest enrage anyone have done on a hardcore, or at least I would assume so. Here's a bit of a bummer for some of you, maybe. I've had the frozen cores in the chest for a couple months now, so I'm used to being blue balled, but for the viewers, you probably want me to claim. But here's the thing, my stats at the moment, 86 smithing and 83 attack. In order to make the tier 95 weapons, I need 99 smithing, and to wield them I need 95 attack. So that leaves me with a chest that isn't really useful at the moment. Instead, what I could do is to go for a streak at Telos and then claim both chests at the same time, do a bit of broadcast spamming. I saw RS Guy was doing it a couple months ago on his main account, and I want to do it on my hardcore because it looked like fun. That being said, I'm not good at Telos. I haven't done it much, but I like a challenge, so I'll give it a shot. Do some practice. If you want me to 200 streak Telos, 200 likes, and I'll do it. I hope you enjoyed the series. Thanks for watching.